SIP. It's already now started here. I would like to see the Niuli Vocational Technical High School connected directly to your trades department here. So it's highly on my priority list what needs to be done, because it's important to have an educated people in the community. You need all the resources to help you succeed and get your education while you're here in American Samoa before you go off island. The STEAM also is now in place, and it's very good to see a lot of programs coming in, so that the funding needs to be come in to help the Department of DOE Education and also ASCC bridge the gap from high school to college here in American Samoa. So those who want to stay here, learn a skill, and stay here in American Samoa are able to do so. So education is number one, and it will be priority for me as your congressional delegate in Congress. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Tangolan Castor. Finally, Mrs. Suitonu Chapman, how do you value education, and what are your plans to improve education funding and resources for our future generations in American Samoa?
Thank you. That's a very good question, because the future of our islands is about education, and the DOE and the ASCC are two separate entities. One is run by the government and the other is run by subsidies. ASCC is run by the subsidies and the DOE is run by the government. So my issue would be is to always work closely with the DOE, which is the government, and the ASCC, which is a separate entity from the government, but you depend on subsidies. But the future of our people, of our children, no matter what school they go to, they need money. And that's my issue, is getting more money for the education and for ASCC. Thank you.
Thank you, candidates, for your answers. Our next question will be about economic development. This question will begin with Mrs. Luisa Quaya. Here is the question. What specific strategies do you propose to enhance economic opportunities in American Samoa, particularly for small businesses and local entrepreneurs?
Thank you for the question. As some of you are aware, I used to be the vice chair of the Chamber of Commerce, and we were struggling as small businesses. When I first came to the island, there were about 20 businesses in the chamber in terms of membership, and then at the end of my 3-year tenure, we had over 200 businesses registered. Small business, we must understand, is the backbone of the economy. And since I've been here, in the 7 years that I've been here, we have maintained one airline carrier. We lost 2 major banks and lost major shipping lines here. As an island, we rely heavily on transportation and trade. Without those institutions in place, it results in a really trying and struggling economy, which we are facing right now. Many small businesses, due to the pandemic, had closed because they couldn't get access to capital and funding. And so the question is, what would I do? What strategies I would do? Well, if I am elected to be your congresswoman, I would do more advocacy and legislation to get us the resources in small business and partner with the SBA and our local SBDC to make sure that capital and access is available to American Samoans. Many of us aren't even able to access because we can't even complete an application for funding. Our territory is not even on the application form. in the drop-down list, when you have to complete it, says state and province, there is no American Samoa there. It's other, or we have to put in Hawaii. There's all these circumventing and workarounds that are necessary that shouldn't happen right now in 2024. So there are many things I can do, if elected, to get more legislation and access and capital here. And
Thank
then
you,
we can talk
Mrs.
about
Guaya.
entrepreneurism later. But thank you for the question.
Thank you. Mrs. Tango Lancaster, what specific strategies do you propose to enhance economic opportunities in American Samoa, particularly for small businesses and local entrepreneurs?
Ensure that American Samoa is included in all federal stimulus initiatives. Continue to work with the local leaders, Department of Commerce over here, what they have in the pipeline as far as requesting funding, financial assistance, work with them, get their plans, and help them bring the funds to American Samoa. Local businesses need consumers. Consumers need money to spend. But without the consumers and without the business in business, we're not going to have an economy. So I will continue to do that, and also make sure that the business work with the local Department of Commerce and put in their plans to help the local economy.
Thank you, Ms. Tango Lancaster. Mrs. Sutonu Chapman, what specific strategies do you propose to enhance economic opportunities in American Samoa, particularly for small businesses and local entrepreneurs?
Thank you. That's another great question. The strategy of economics in regards of our small business and local business here, it begins with immigration. We have to really be on top of the immigration who we have discovered that they have let in people that really shouldn't have businesses here. That has nothing to do but with the government. And so I would work close with the government of American Samoa in regards of the small businesses and local businesses, because our local businesses are not being checked as far as expired issues in their stores. And we have a lot of rental businesses. They're not being checked. The small businesses that have been here and have years of working with us and bringing jobs are now are no longer the large businesses. They are small businesses. But in order for me to act as your congresswoman, I would need to talk with the American Samoan government locally and those who are in charge of issuing small businesses and local businesses. That's what my job would be, is to find out what's going on here in American Samoa. We cannot bring things that happen in the United States here because this is American Samoa. It's not what you know, it is who you know. There's nepotism and there's favoritism. Nepotism, I'm for it, but can that person really do the job, or are they hired because they're relative to somebody? That's nepotism. As far as the other part, can they really do the job? So in order for me to help you, I would need to work with the local government here, which is your governor and your gubernatorial, whoever you choose. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Sutonu Chapman. Finally, Congresswoman Amua Mata. What specific strategies do you propose to enhance economic opportunities in American Samoa, particularly for small businesses and local entrepreneurs?
Well, right now we're working on the tax extender provision. This is something that American Samoa has had for the Star-Kissed tuna cannery, and it has expired, but we have been working very hard. This comes under the House Ways and Means Committee, and I've been working with Chairman Jason Smith. He's very, very supportive of this. The tax extender provision, which is Section 30A of the U.S. Tax Code, it is critical to our economy because this credit will attract other outside businesses. And we've got to continue to diversify our economy. At the moment, we are a one-industry economy, but at some point in the future, hopefully we'll be able to have other businesses here besides just tuna. And so we must continue, and this credit, there are many different reasons why people ought to bring their businesses to invest in American Samoa. If you just go to that website, you will find that answer. In the interest of time, I can't go into it. But please feel free to come over to my office. I can talk for hours on this. Thank you.
Thank you, Congresswoman. Our next question will be about health care access. This question will begin with Ms. Rosie Tango Lancaster. Here is the question. With a shortage of healthcare professionals and outdated facilities affecting the quality of care in American Samoa, what solutions will you advocate for in Congress to improve access to healthcare, modernize hospitals, and address health disparities in the territory?
Thank you. Healthcare. We need a new hospital. High on my priority as far as for your congressional delegate, new hospital. We need to improve the health care here, provide funding as far as for trying to help our health professionals, further their education, refresh, training, and so forth. But bringing in a new hospital will help not only for LBJ, our local community, but also veterans. We need a new hospital. Going off islands, as far as for us, is getting to be burdensome. And when you are admitted in the hospital off island, your family's here. So I think it's time that we need to bring in a new hospital here for American Samoa. And it can be done. We have a lot of veterans population, their families, our families, that have limited access as far as trying to get to TRICARE and so forth. So my recommendation is I will work hard, look for funding with local leaders and try to bring us a new hospital and improve the care for the people and also training for our health professional. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Tango Lancaster. Next, Mrs. Suitonu Chapman. With a shortage of healthcare professionals and outdated facilities affecting the quality of care in American Samoa, what solutions will you advocate for in Congress to improve access to healthcare, modernize hospitals, and address health disparities in the territory?
Well, you have really good questions. As far as healthcare, we all know it's a very crucial subject. And again, the healthcare is controlled by the government. My part for you in Congress is to get the money. And we need more certified healthcare professionals. Instead of getting someone in because of nepotism and he or she's related, we need to get and make sure that these professionals are certified people, not later, because it affects those that they've taken care of. As far as the modernization of the hospital, we need a lot of work, a lot of work. So those of you who are sitting in the audience, you're going to be doctors, you're going to be nurses, you're going to be certified nurses assistants, and that's what we need. And as far as anything that's the question here, it takes money. And that's what I would do in Congress for you, is work for the money. We have subsidies, we have everything there. We just have to ask. You have to ask the right committees and be there when it's offered to us. I promise you, I will be there, because we need hospital modernization and we need certified healthcare professionals. Those of you who are here in the audience, you will soon be our doctors or nurses or certified nurses assistants, or even in the lab. We look forward to this audience to be ahead of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Sutoni Chapman. Congresswoman Aumua Amata. With a shortage of healthcare professionals and outdated facilities affecting the quality of care in American Samoa, what solutions will you advocate for in Congress to improve access to healthcare, modernize hospitals, and address health disparities in the territory?
Let me first of all thank the doctors and nurses here on island, the very hardworking people who are doing a tremendously good job with the limited resources they have. I also want to take the opportunity to thank the doctors from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. These people are saints. They come down here, they're retired, and they come and they excel in their job. And they come down here and they work without pay for, I think it's 1 or 2 years. God bless those people. Now, we do have a hospital, and I think we ought to work to improve the situation with the hospital. But let's face it, sooner or later, we're going to need a new hospital. And my healthcare initiative that I've been talking about for the last few years would be available not only for the people of American Samoa, but the other areas of the Indo-Pacific. And perhaps we could have a hospital where they could come and learn. It could be a teaching hospital. Now, these things don't happen in 5 minutes. It takes a long time to do that. But let me say that just what I've been saying, I've talked to the different members, the secretaries of Defense, Veterans, Interior, and Commerce, and they all are willing to pitch in to put some money in the pot to help us get a state-of-the-art hospital. We are continuing to work on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Congresswoman. Finally, Mrs. Quaya. With a shortage of healthcare professionals and outdated facilities affecting the quality of care in American Samoa, what solutions will you advocate for in Congress to improve access to healthcare, modernize hospitals, and address health disparities in the territory?
Thank you for the question. I believe we need sustainable solutions to help improve health care. And what I mean by that is it takes a holistic approach to improve and maintain good health. This hospital, LBJ, has been problematic for decades. And many people have left the island because of the poor quality of care that's taking place here. A lot of that has to do with the mismanagement of funds that come here, and making sure that the funds are allocated properly to the different departments, and to also sustaining and bringing in medical doctors who are trained, U.S. medically trained, and can do the work for us. If we could do a cost analysis to show how much money how much money it takes for people to go off island for health care, regarding their airfare and their accommodations, I think we would see that we spend millions of dollars to send our people off island to get care when we actually should be able to provide that care that they need here at home. Many of our kangaka makua want to stay here Many want to come home, but because of healthcare, they can't. And as far as addressing disparities, the holistic approach that I'm talking about is educating our people on how to take better care of their health. We have a lot of things that we are exposed to, the type of food that we bring in, processed foods, sugar, all these things create non-communicable diseases, and it's hard for our people to, if elected, I could help in terms of legislation to not just bring money here, but to bring options for better health care. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, our next question will be about environmental protection. This question will begin with Mrs. Suitonu Chapman. Here is the question. Given the unique ecological challenges facing American Samoa, what legislative measures will you support to protect our natural resources while promoting sustainable development?
I'm sorry, what was the question again? The shortage go ahead.
I'll repeat the question. Given the unique ecological challenges facing American Samoa, what legislative measures will you support to protect our natural resources while promoting sustainable development?
Oh, okay. What I would do as your congresswoman in Washington, D.C., I would go to many of the resources that you are asking about. But again, the reality part is for the congressperson to work for you is money. And again, we need money to make this American Samoa work. And when we get the money for you, when I get the money for you, and of course it's sent here, it's sent to the departments, and again, it's ran by the government. I will get you all the money that we need and go to the additional federal funds and the additional public services and so forth for our island that we have not yet got. So that's what I would do for American Samoa. A lot of it has to do with money. And I know all of you know this. Not only money, but also it has to do with, I see you waving. Did I do something wrong?
No.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Oh, she was back there waving. Oh, anyway, what I was talking about is a lot of things as a congressperson will take the money and my time to be there at the specific departments. So that's what the important part is, and it's also to support this government. But I need your help. You're the young people. You need to stand up and help me to make it right. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Suitonu Chapman. Congresswoman Amua Amata. Given the unique ecological challenges facing American Samoa, what legislative measure will you support to protect our natural resources while promoting sustainable development?
So we are working closely with the EPA. As a matter of fact, I just talked to the director of EPA on Sunday when I held town hall meeting for veterans. It turns out he's a veteran as well. And I want to commend them on the great job that they are doing. They are the one department here that is fully funded by the federal government. That's kind of an amazing thing. So I, for one, am very much in favor of conservation and taking looking after the environment. We met on this giant clam the other day, and we want to keep the giant clam where it is, but we want to continue to work closely with the EPA, and there are many, many different things that we can do to conserve our environment.
Thank you, Congresswoman Amua Amata. Mrs. Kwaya, given the unique ecological challenges facing American Samoa, what legislative measures will you support to protect our natural resources while promoting sustainable development?
Thank you for the question. There's a Native American proverb that really touches my heart, and it goes like this. We do not borrow the earth, we do not inherit the earth from our ancestors, we borrow it from our children. And that proverb means that as stewards of land and of this earth, we have the responsibility to take care of it. And here in American Samoa, we have a beautiful island. But I understand that in the last 10 years, our sea levels have risen. There is a huge issue with climate change right now. And we have to seek out measures that are going to help protect our island and our environment. The other day, I was headed to Aunu'u, and I was going to do a summer reading program there with my team. And what I noticed or witnessed was barrels of diesel oil getting loaded onto alia boats that were traveling from Tutuila to Aunu'u. How dangerous that these diesel barrels had to go via alia boat. And just the back-breaking work that it took the men to lift and hoist those barrels onto the alia boat. But this is a daily, if not regular, experience for the people of Aunu'u. And why did they have to take those barrels there? It was because Aunu'u is run by a generator. That is their source of energy. If I'm elected to Congress, I will push legislation to support eco-friendly measures of energy for our people to keep us safe and protected. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Quayle. Ms. Tango Lancaster, given the unique ecological challenges facing American Samoa, what legislative measures will you support to protect our natural resources while promoting sustainable development?
We need to be heavily involved when it comes to the environment. Whatever measure that's in place to protect our interests, we need to support that. And I will support that and work with the local leaders because we have limited land. Our population is now at 49,710 as of 2020. So, but it's increasing population. And we need to protect our environment. So whatever initiatives, measures that will protect our interests, we need to support that. As far as for funding, the EPA, work with the EPA as far as to get the funding to protect, to help our people here and what we need to do. So I will be supporting and looking for ways to help our local government, local leaders, and our people in protecting our environment, and also help us grow and protect ourselves.
Thank you, Ms. Tango Lancaster. And our final question will be about political status. This question will begin with Congresswoman Aumua Amata. Here is your question. What are your views on the current political status of American Samoa, and do you support changes to its representation in Congress?
My views on the political status of American Samoa. I like our status with our special relationship with the United States. We have been part of the United States for 124 years. And I think we're doing very, very well. And I wouldn't want to change it, but that is my short answer on it. I like our relationship with the United States.
Thank you, Congresswoman. Mrs. Quayle, your question is, what are your views on the current political status of American Samoa, and do you support changes to its representation in Congress?
Thank you. I agree with Congresswoman Amata in that I do value our allegiance and relationship to the United States. Because I was born in California, I am a U.S. citizen, and I am entitled to many rights that U.S. citizens are entitled to. Many of you who are born here are born as U.S. nationals. And what does that mean? That means that there are certain rights that are inherent to your status. There are also rights that aren't. For example, I'm open to the discussion about this. I had shared a federal position opportunity with a friend who I felt was very qualified for the position. He was a U.S. veteran, he's a sea captain, he had all the qualifications for this position. And I shared these in. So just in that one line, it basically took that opportunity away from him. And I didn't understand how someone could fight for the country, live in this country of American Samoa, fight for the U.S., and not be eligible to apply for a federal job. And that has to do with political status. And that's just an aspect of our political status and what it does for us and what it doesn't. But we should be talking about that, discussing how we can put our lives on the line for government in the military and not be eligible to vote for the United States president. There's a lot of questions that many of you have asked me too. And those are discussions that we should have, and we should put this to the people to have this discussion on our political status. Thank you.
Ms. Tango Lancaster, what are your views on the current political status of American Samoa, and do you support changes to its representation in Congress?
We are very blessed under the current status we have. The United States has been very generous to us as far as funding and all that to take care of us. There's a way, there's a lot of discussion going on as far as for wanting citizenship. There's a pathway already in place. If you want to be a U.S. citizen, you can apply for it. But if American Samoa, its leader and the people of American Samoa want to change the political status from what it is right now, then we need to discuss that locally and then submit it to the Congress. But I feel like what we have right now, we are blessed with it. If we want to change it, then it's up to us, the people of American Samoa.
Thank you, Ms. Tango Lancaster. Finally, Mrs. Suitonu Chapman, what are your views on the current political status of American Samoa, and do you support changes to its representation in Congress?
I love that question. The answer is no. Because as far as Congress, they are inept in what we are and where we come from, who we are. They have not yet been told about what we really need, what we really want. And it's like any other states in the Union of the 50 states they have, and it's like any other territory of the United States. We need money. We need help. And that's what I want to do as your congressperson in Washington, D.C., because I have to go to the different committees, different senators, different House of Representatives, the House of the Veteran Affairs Committee, because our living is different than the United States. But I am grateful for Congress that they listen to us, but they don't hear us.
Thank you. I want to just tag on the tail end of what was part of my intro remarks, but we ran out of time, and I want to just talk a little bit about, I'm from here. I grew up here. I went to school at St. Francis in Lepua, and then on to Fiailoa. And the thing is that in those days, we had no school buses. we had no paved roads, but we used to have a boat that was a surplus boat left over from the war. And so every morning at 6 o'clock, we, the kids, would go down to the wharf. They had a boat shed. And we all climbed into this boat to take us across to where Starkist is today. And then they would let us off. The boys went to Marist Brothers School. The older girls right there in Atu'u. And us little girls, I was 4 or 5 years old, went to Lepua. And a lot of times that boat would break down. And so we did a lot of walking in those days. But we never felt deprived. We were very happy with the lives that we led. And in fact, one of my teachers was the mother of Representative Larry Sanitoa. And so I can say that after Fiailoa, then I finished up in high school in Honolulu, graduated with a degree in psychology from the University of Guam. And I was honored with a Doctor of Laws from my alma mater, the University of Guam. And so I want to just say thank you very much for allowing me today to be here. And we will continue to work together. I want to ask you humbly to please vote for me on November 5th.
Thank you,
For
Congresswoman.
Congress.
Mrs. Louisa Quaya, now is the time for your closing statement.
Thank you. It has been a pleasure being with you today. I know this is kind of a formal way of getting to know each other, but like I said at the beginning, there is greatness in each of you. I see it, I feel it. And the reason I am running for Congress is because I believe we need change. We need improvements on this island. I moved here 8 years ago with the hope that I could immerse in my culture and provide that experience for my daughter. And I have to say, it hasn't been easy. And what I see out there, what I read in the news daily, and what has happened to us, my family here, makes me want change. And this election, it's really not just about choosing a candidate, it's about choosing a future that each of you want. And based on what you heard here today, you have the right and the opportunity to make that choice for yourselves. I know here many of us vote based on family, based on village, sometimes religion, but I ask you to vote by your heart and your conscience, and vote for a candidate that you know will advocate for you and your needs and improve the status of American Samoa. I believe I can be that candidate, and I will work tirelessly to advocate for your needs and for all of the people of American Samoa. There isn't any decision that I make that doesn't consider how it will impact you, our children, and our community. So please, November 5th, remember, Nu'ufo Luisa Kauaia. Thanks again for this opportunity.
Thank you, Mrs. Louisa Quaya. Ms. Fala'au Rosie Tango Lancaster, now is the time for your closing statements.
Why am I the best candidate for the seat of Congress? American Samoa is at a crossroads, a place where a decision needs to be made as to which direction to take, for the road as we have known it has changed. We need to move in the direction that will best serve the changes in our population and environment. This requires a thorough understanding of issues specific to Tutuila and Manua, as well as our relationship to the outside world. I am the only candidate for Congress who has lived here with my family continuously for the past 27 years. I understand our problems because we have lived through them. Education from elementary to ASCC, healthcare on several levels, including for veterans, and the current and looming issues of our environment. I have also been working and teaching at ASCC, Manumalo Academy, since I returned from active duty. But it takes more than just understanding the problem. It requires a laser-like focus, once in Congress, to search out and secure all federal opportunities that will address our needs and concerns. This is where my discipline of my 23-year military career comes into play, as well as my extensive personnel. I have commanded large military personnel centers, organized and implemented critical detail and plan of execution for benefit thousands of troops, veterans, civil servants, and their families in the United States and on foreign soil. When you vote on November 5th, and please do vote, and you see my name on the congressional delegate ballot, Falao Rosie Tango Lancaster, think of Anoa for the best directions of American Samoa and its future.
Thank you, Ms.
God bless.
Tango Lancaster. Finally, we have Mrs. Miliani Suitonu Chapman. Now is the time for your closing statement.
Thank you. Today, I thank you for your gracious invitation to join your Student Government Association of the American Samoa Community College. And I wish you all success in your great adventure once you begin your journey into the world of great opportunities. God bless you all, and thank you for the invitation again. Bye.
Thank you, candidates, for taking your time to come to ASCC, home of the Chiefs. We are grateful and thankful for your presence and look forward to elections in a few weeks. Everyone, can we please take a moment to give a great big round of applause for our 2024 congressional candidates. We thank you all again for coming today. We will end our forum with a prayer from SGA Representative Lucio Auvili.
Puno maio wao, se ofa I utato se salo, please bow your heads. Ke risolo mato tamalang. Mumo lava na si ilevi inga marfatai lo fio. Wa iu le ne yaso tama, ma wa iu foi whaamoe moenga le ne yaso tama. Thank you, God, for all that you do. Please provide us with the motivation. Please guide us and bless our lives in all that we do, Lord. Thank you for everything. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you. Everyone, please use your voice to vote and have a great day. Soifua maia manuia.